Hi students, good afternoon everybody. So today in this video we are going to see the figures of speech in the poem Confessions of a Born Spectator. So already you know what are the figures of speech. There are many figures of speech. For example, personification, simile, metaphor, anamitophia, epithet, transferred epithet, imagery, okay, etc., etc. So there are many figures of speech. So in this video we are going to see what are all the figures of speech in the poem Confessions of a Born Spectator by Ogden Nash. So the first figure of speech that we are going to see in this poem is personification. So already I think every one of you know what is meant by personification. So what is personification? Telling an or describing or personifying an inanimate object to have life is called as personification, or personifying a non-living character to be a living character is called as personification. Okay, or an inanimate thing is said to have life. Simply if we want to say, when we are personifying a non-living character like a living character, it is called as personification. So what all the personification in this poem is? So there are two personifications implied in the poem Confessions of a Born Spectator. So one is, you can see in the third stanza, you would think my ego it would please. Okay, so what the poet is telling, here you refers to the poet, you would think my ego it would please. Okay, so whether ego will please? Okay, so ego abdingiradhu the thought within us. Okay, that is the thought within us, just we can realize it. So ego cannot be happy by itself. Only if human beings are happy, our thought can also be happy. So ego itself cannot be pleased, or it cannot be sad, or it cannot be angry. It cannot have any human feelings. Okay, so that's why, so the ego is personified as to be a living character in this line. So that's why the figure of speech in this line is personification. Okay, so like that you can see in the fourth stanza, well, ego it might be pleased enough. Okay, so here also ego is personified as a living character. So the figures of speech in these two lines are personification. So this line you can find in third stanza, and this line you can find in the beginning of the fourth stanza. So these two are the personifications. So next one is simile. Okay, so what is simile? Simile is a comparison which is made between two things. So metaphor is an hidden comparison, simile is an open comparison. So what are all the comparative words used here will be? They will be using the comparative words as and like. So if you are finding these two words in a poem line, you can say it as a simile. Okay, so I am glad as glad can be. So what is mean by glad? Happy. So again, what is mean by glad? Happy. Okay, so I am glad as glad can be. So I am happy as happy can be. Okay, evlo happy ah irukka mudiyumo, that much I am happy. So what is the comparative word used here? The comparative word used is as. So the figure of speech in this line is simile. Okay, so let us go for the next figure of speech. So the next one is Anamitophia. So what is Anamitophia? Some sounding words are called as Anamitophia. Okay, so the Anamitophia used in this poem is, you can see in the fifth stanza, when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist. Okay, so here what all the anamorphic word is? Snap and crack. So these two are the anamorphic words. Okay, so these two refers to the sound. So Tamil la enna solvom, வண்டி கடகடன்னு ஓடுது அப்படி சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ தட் அந்த கடகட அப்படிங்கிற வேர்டை எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம்? இட் இஸ் யூஸ்டு டு ரெஃபர் த சவுண்ட் ப்ரொடியூஸ்டு இல்லையா. ஸோ லைக்வைஸ் ஹியர் when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist. So this two words snap is referring to the sound when there is a break in the knee or when there is an injury in the knee or when there is a kick knock in the knee. Okay, likewise cracks also refers to the sound. So these two words are anamitopic words. That's why the figure of speech in this line is Anamitophia. Okay. So we are seeing the figures of speech, and so in this poem you can see, you can find, you would think my ego it would please personification. Well, ego it might be pleased enough. Personification, and when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, Anamitophia, and I am glad as glad can be. So in the first stanza we can say I am glad as glad can be. So this is simile. So these are the figures of speech in this poem Confessions of a Born Spectator. So apart from this we have rhyming words and rhyme scheme. I think every one of you are familiar in identifying the rhyme scheme and the rhyming words. So if you are not clear with it, I'll explain you can understand. Okay. So take the first stanza. So what are all the ending words here? Jockey, hockey, enter, center, be, me. Okay. So how to find the rhyming words is it should end with the same rhyme. See for example, jockey and hockey. Key, key. Enter, center. Be, E sound, and me again E sound. Okay. So how to give the rhyme scheme? So first we have to start with A. Okay. So jockey and hockey are rhyming. So we have to give A. Next one. So what is the next letter? So what is the next word? Enter. So enter is not rhyming with either jockey or hockey. So we have to give B for enter, and again enter is rhyming with center. So we are giving B again. Okay, and what is the next word? B. So B is neither rhyming with center and enter and nor with jockey and hockey. So we are going for the next alphabet, that is C. Okay, so B is rhyming with B. So again we are giving C. So what is the rhyme scheme of this stanza? A, B, B, C, C. This is how we have to find the rhyme scheme. So look at the next stanza. So here admire, hire, pomp, romp, feats, deeds. So admire. So if we are writing the rhyme scheme for the entire poem, we have to go for the next alphabet. So we have completed with E. So here we have to start with F. But in your exam, they will not be asking for entire poem. They will be asking for a stanza alone. Okay, so I am using again A. So admire and hire are rhyming. Pomp and romp are rhyming. So B. And feats and deeds are rhyming. So C. So the rhyme scheme of this stanza is also A, B, and C. So next one. Score, flow, A, spines and line, B, please, these. Okay, so here you can use the singular spine. Okay, spine, line, B, please, these, easy. So this stanza is also following the same rhyme scheme, A, B, C. Okay, so remaining all the stanzas in the poems rhymes the same. So enough, rough, dealings, feelings, begins, wins. Likewise, fist, wrist, demands, stands, speaks, physic. So CC. And last, you again. A, Radium, stadium, B, B, NU, U, C, C. Okay, there is a change only in the last stanza. It is having A, B, B, C, C. This is following this rhyming scheme. Okay, so this is the rhyme scheme of this poem. And what is the one more thing? Alliteration. So alliterated words you can find yourself. What is alliteration? The repetition of the initial consonant sound. Okay, so look at the definition properly. Repetition of the initial consonant sound is called as alliteration. Okay, so it is not the repetition of consonant. சரியா அப்படி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்க கூடாது. கான்சனன்ட் ரிப்பீட் ஆச்சு அப்படின்னா இட் இஸ் நாட் alliteration. வாட் இஸ் alliteration? Repetition of the consonant sound. Okay, the sound should repeat. That is called as alliteration. Okay, so repetition of initial vowel sound is called as assonance. Okay, if vowel sounds A, E, I, O is repeating, it is called as assonance. So you have to be careful in finding the alliteration. Okay, only if the consonant sounds are repeating, we call it as alliteration. If the vowel sounds are repeating, we call it as assonance. Let me tell you one example. Do, dealings. Do, dealings. So both are having the same D sound. So we call it as alliterations. Okay, likewise you can find the alliterations yourself in this poem. So rhyme scheme and rhyming words I have told you, and we have seen personification, Anamitophia and Simile, and apart from this you can find alliterations of your own. So these are the figures of speech employed in the poem, or these are the poetic devices employed in the poem Confessions of a Barn Spectator. Okay, so here in your book back there is a question. When snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, identify and explain the use of the literary device in this line. So what we have seen, the literary device used in this line is Anamitophia. So we have seen this already. Okay, so this is a short video which explains you the figures of speech in the poem The Confessions of a Barn Spectator by Ogden Nash. Hope every one of you can understand, and write all the figures of speech in your book. Okay, so underline the line and note the figures of speech in your book also. You can write the rhyming words and you can mark the rhyme scheme also in your book. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope every one of you have understood the figures of speech in this poem. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.